How will Kirill Kaprizov's record $17 million times 8-year deal, $136 million total, the richest contract in NHL history, affect Jack Eichel and the rest of the free agent market? The players, it appears, have all the leverage. Our answer is next, right here on Locked On Golden Knights.
Your Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hi again from Las Vegas, Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick reporting. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. You can find us wherever you get your podcast. Please subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. I'm a longtime sportscaster, a marketing consultant, and the host of the Believe in Vegas podcast with a new show coming out later this week, I might add, featuring NASCAR driver of the #1 Chevy, Ross Chastain. And Chris is the owner of Silver State Cards and Sports and the host of the Hockey News Collectibles show. Coming up ahead on today's show, Frank Saravalli, the good doctor, says VGK is likely to sign Carter Hart, and we'll have a recap of Joe Fleming and the Vegas Golden Knights in action last night and a preview of what's ahead tonight in the home and home. And don't forget that you can now catch our show on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network each and every day, daily, 1 p.m. Tune in Monday through Friday again, SSSEN on YouTube TV or Cox Cable Channel 77. We are also brought to you today by FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com and get into the game. Have you ever heard, Chris, of a player turning down a contract for $16 million a year AAV, presses a team, you think he might be out there in the free agent world, and then the team gives him an additional $1 million more per year times 8, so $8 million. Well, that's what happened in Minnesota yesterday. Superstar Kirill Kaprizov signing that big extension, knowing that the cap goes up significantly next year. And I put out the meme, the domino effect, dominoes just falling as soon as we saw the deal, which went down again. Thank you so much. Right after we ended recording our show. And in the aftermath, two of the biggest free agents on the market, you've got Jack Eichel and you have Connor McDavid, and others are on the proverbial clock there. And I just feel that the effect is enormous. I think it affects the entire class. And I don't believe that Jack Eichel is going to settle for $12 or $13 million, maybe $14 million. The market has now been set. It's been set.
Bill Guerin had the quote of the day right as they're sitting down for the presser to announce this. Reporter blurts out, "Hey, are you excited?" And Bill Guerin, "He effing better be." Like that's why hockey's amazing right there. So that's
the option perhaps now, pay Eichel 15 to 16 million for a shorter term. Is that even possible? What happens now? What happens next? He's not 12 to 13, right? There's no way. I don't think that on one of our napkins, I don't think that Eichel gave the napkin to McCrimmon, him and his team, and said 12.5. There's no possible conceivable way because a contract would have been signed by now.
How much? Got a lot of ink on it, man.
What's the ballpark now, Chris?
Well, number one, reacting to Kaprizov. I mean, literally, he squeezed an extra $8 million out of the Wild. Like it
unbelievable.
Was just because he can. That was the fun part. Number one, right there. Number two, I don't know. I mean, you do see some reports where it doesn't seem as likely that this is going to impact Jack as much. And I believe Saravalli as well. I got to check the tweet I sent you last night. But I think Saravalli thinks a deal is likely for Jack before puck drops in the regular season. Well, that's 1 week away from today right now. So we'll see how that shakes out. I got to think whatever Eichel's number was, let's say 2-3 months ago, has gone up a little bit.
It's gone up. It's gone up. It might be substantially. It might have gone up big. It might have gone up a lot more.
It has. I don't know about a lot more, but I think it would be foolish for Jack had he told McCrimmon, okay, 13 million times 8, get this thing done back, 2-3 months ago. Now, with what Kaprizov has signed, I mean, looking at Kaprizov's numbers, he's elite. He's amazing. He's a multi 40 goal scorer. He was pacing for the upper 40s, maybe even 50 goals last season, depending on how things went. So that's the big difference. I mean, and 50 assists in the 23-24 year as well, keep in mind. So I get Kaprizov's pay and why it's there. Which player would you rather start your franchise around? I think most GMs would probably be split if you'd rather have Jack or Kaprizov. Kaprizov scores the goal. That's why he might get a couple bucks more, but Eichel is also a champion and Kaprizov is not.
This guy, Kaprizov, is going to eat up about, I heard yesterday on one show, around 20% of the team's cap money. That's just a big chunk. And here in Las Vegas, you'll have two players that could conceivably eat up around 35%, right? Of the cap, between two players. And you still have Dorofeev as a free agent coming up ahead, and whoever else the shiny new toy is going to be.
No, and of course, that's a problem for the 26-27 year. And Kelly McCrimmon has shown hesitance to be overly concerned about tomorrow. He's worried about today and, get a Stanley Cup for the 25-26 season, and then 26-27, see where the chips fall at that point. And your favorite Rasmus Anderson is still lurking out there somewhere too. We were talking about that on our squad show last night. That'll be coming out, the Pacific Primer coming out sometime next week. So be on the lookout for that. So, yeah, I mean, listen, Kaprizov has set the market. Kaprizov has set the bar for the richest deal ever. McDavid, if I'm him, I'm just like, okay, I don't even got to be the bad guy now. I can just react off what Kaprizov did. So that makes McDavid's life a little bit more interesting, I guess, a little bit easier. But by this logic, how does Jack not say 8 times 14.5 or 15? How does he
absolutely? And a lot of things going for Eichel. So you've got the two free agents, Eichel and McDavid. But when you look at Jack Eichel, again, can't stress this enough. Eichel, a Stanley Cup champion.
Yep.
And the fact that he is a center is equivalent to a pitcher's salary, perhaps in baseball, or the slugger on your team. He's a center. And centers, traditionally, they get the bag more often than somebody on a wing, another forward. Centers are definitely the key player, and we know what Eichel has done here in Las Vegas. And I would not blame, I know the VGK fans are going to get stewed over this. I wouldn't blame Jack for going the free agent route. Would not. Why would you? How can you blame him when they're throwing a lot of money out there and Jack Eichel can secure the bag and he could get 17, maybe 18 million somewhere else? How could you be mad about that? Sarah Valley, he just built a new house in Vegas. You could sell that thing in a day. You could sell that in a day.
Listen, anyone that needs to go get paid and go to what they might see as a better situation for their employment, good for them. That doesn't matter if you're, a poker dealer, a blackjack dealer, a casino manager, or any type of Vegas job. And doesn't matter if you're a professional athlete. If you want to go out and get paid and shop yourself and get the highest amount of return, good for you. Go out there and do it. Again, same situation. Doesn't matter, if a poker dealer is at Casino A and they're happy with their schedule, they're happy with their seniority, they're happy with their situation, and then they have to consider going across the street to Casino B where they're maybe not going to have that same seniority, have to adjust to a new situation, maybe a little different schedule. Those things do definitely play out. And Eichel does have an attachment to this community. This isn't just simply about these players being, robots taking the highest dollar and they're gonna go the second their contract's up. That's not how it works either. But somewhere between Jack Eichel saying, "Okay, Kaprizov just got this. I really want to stay in Vegas, but I have a responsibility to my fellow players to also help set the bar."
Well, players know how much the cap is going to be. So they and their agents are trying to hit that number. We're seeing more of that. You feel as though they have all the leverage in the world. And right now, it's an interesting market. And they're talking about McDavid possibly, potentially signing a 2 or 3 year deal, which would be crazy. And if Eichel hits the market, he could sign that. What will it be under the new CBA? A 6-year term. So no telling what happens. We are a couple of weeks away from when any of those 5 Canadian players recently acquitted on the charges in the controversial case can sign a contract. Rumors are growing that the Golden Knights have the inside track on picking up goalie Carter Hart. The latest next, right here on Locked On Golden Knights. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel is making sure that you are ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. And right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. You definitely love to use FanDuel because why? There's all sorts of betting action that you could partake in. There's player props. Of course, you can build that same game parlay. And of course, you can jump into the live action as it unfolds. And we do have a couple of numbers here to pass along. The Rams on Thursday Night Football are -6.5 over San Francisco, the total 47. Currently, the Colts -7 over our Raiders, and the total on that game is 48. It just makes it more exciting to get into the game, whether you're watching your team or just keeping an eye on your fantasy lineup. So, are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app today, and you can check it out by visiting FanDuel.com, and you can get things started. Kick it off there. That's FanDuel.com, and you can place your first $5 bet. Welcome back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights from Las Vegas. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick. Thanks for making us your first listen, and we appreciate you doing so. And also, please subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. You can catch us right here each and every day on SSSEN starting at 1 p.m. So there's a lot of speculation that VGK will be signing the goaltender Carter Hart, and that's growing right now. Frank Saravelli, the good doctor we might add, saying yesterday that Vegas has the inside track to sign Carter Hart. He believes it will be likely a 2-year deal with VGK. It's just the Golden Knights and nobody else. So this is emotion. This is happening. It's happening right before our very eyes. And so a 2-year deal and not at the league minimum. And he said it will be in the 2s so he can sign an extent. How could you sign? So Saravelli, I watched the show. So if he signed to VGK for 2 years, how can he sign an extension on July the 1st? How would that work? I'm not quite sure.
He won't be able to sign an extension. Well,
no,
if he signs a
what's he talking about?
No, if he signs a 2-year deal, he can definitely, because he'll be in the last year of his contract on July 1st.
I see. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. So you can extend him if you'd like to, but it's interesting, right? And Saravelli saying that VGK is, quote, well down the track. It's a likely bet, and it's happening. And we'll see Carter Hart in the VGK colors here on December the 1st. That's when the players can actually start to play.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely shows that there is a lack of faith in the backup goaltender position with the.
We knew this.
100% we knew this. And, I think what's weird is Schmidt only had a few appearances with the Golden Knights last season. And the fact that shows you how strong they viewed his performance or lack thereof with Henderson as far as a possible measuring stick for him to become an NHL goaltender. So it appears the Golden Knights are going to try and limp, so to speak, to December 1st with the trio. I will say a trio, although Lindbaum didn't look very good last night in the preseason game.
No. But the defense wasn't good either.
He was flopping like a fish, though, too.
I like that.
But going back to the situation, so it's a 3-headed monster. Aiden Hill is going to be at the head. Of course, you have Schmid, the likely backup, and Lindbaum in the event Schmid doesn't work out in the beginning, and then we'll see how that ends up shaking out. But you look at the numbers for Carter Hart here, you look at what the Golden Knights are hoping they're getting, and they're getting a goaltender who just one season has been below a 900 save percentage, always been right around that 905. Last 3 seasons in the NHL from back to 21-22, 905, 906, 907, which is right around where Aiden Hill has been. Player who's had 55 appearances in the 22-23 season, 45 appearances, 21-22. So it seems like there is a fair amount of stability, I guess, reliability as far as health concerns. So on paper, I understand why they're doing it, and I also understand the storm that this is going to bring for a little while, and so does Kelly McCrimmon, and the Golden Knights will have to show better willingness to address this.
Yeah, they better treat this case a lot differently than Connolly, because you can't just go into a presser. And the thing about it right now,
but that they will, though, Tony, they will.
Well, we understand, obviously, there's going to be a ton of backlash. But in my PR world, put on my PR cap right now, you have to get out in front of something like this. You have to be proactive and explain the rationale behind signing a player like this. Saravelli said, well, these guys are not guilty. If you sat through, and I just every day read all the capsules of the trial of all these players, it was absolutely despicable and disgusting. And so I don't know how you walk it back here, other than you need to be out in front of it, have preemptive strikes, be transparent. You can't go, oh, well, I don't know. Like, I don't know if Bill Foley signed off, or he did sign off. Maybe, I don't know. No, you have to be transparent. VGK lives in its own PR world, and you have to get out in front of it, because I think the backlash is going to definitely hurt this franchise. I think it will.
This is where you might think it's better for George McPhee to take the lead on the presser for this one here. I think McPhee
the made man.
He's much more. I'm not sure what the word I'm looking for is, but just the way he would explain the situation and the rationale. And again, I'm not defending it, but I'm simply saying
no.
McPhee would explain the
rationale. But you have to get out in front of it. You can't just lollygag around with this one. Can't do it.
McCrimmon is certainly not the best one to be the voice behind this, although I'm sure he's a big part of the driving force. He's the one who's ultimately going to be signing his name to the contract and everything. But McCrimmon, I can see having to be very, very careful in the presser, and I understand that. And again, what I will state, and I've stated this multiple times, the Golden Knights have had no trouble taking on different situations with different questionable backgrounds that have played out in a legal light, that people have records on this team and stuff, from coaching staff to players and everything. And the Golden Knights have built this locker room to be as positive as they can. And I don't know if rehab is the right word. Maybe it is the right word. Players and coaches who have had past and things like that. So this would not be the first player that does have a kind of a similar past. Although, so again, research these things yourself here. I understand the concerns about Carter Hart. I do. Same token, the Golden Knights have taken on some challenging situations, and the locker room remains very strong to this day.
I'm not concerned about the locker room. I'm concerned about the fans. I don't really care about the locker room.
I know but McCrimmon doesn't care about that, and I don't mean to be insensitive.
No.
McCrimmon does not care one iota about what we think. What you think watching the show.
He's watching every day.
McCrimmon doesn't care what any other podcast is saying about this. It'll be an internal conversation with McPhee and Foley if they are willing to take on the situation.
It's happening.
They'll get to work
in 2 weeks from today. So what do you think about how are they going to pay this guy in the $2 million in that range?
Oh, that's easy. No, I looked at that. I got that already teed up.
Who else is going on Dorofeev on LTIR?
Well, number one, Schmidt can go down. Schmidt is still, I believe, on a two-way.
Okay.
In the event he's not still on a two-way, I'm pretty sure he could still go up and down. 25 years old. I don't think he's hit his. But again, in the event, let's just say Schmidt has to stay on the active roster here. You have on the forward side, you have Cole Schwint counting against the cap right now at $825. So right now the Golden Knights they're negative $7.6 million over the cap. That does not factor Pietrangelo.
Oh my gosh, he's on a PTO. They're gonna how are they gonna handle this? Cooking the
Well, that
books.
doesn't factor Holt or Petro at 8.8, so that's 1.2 million. And then if you send down Cole Schwindt, that's 8.25. Hart's contract is 2.1 and change.
Okay. Coming up next, VGK falling to the Avalanche on the road last night in Denver, 4-2. Tonight, a big night, as we will most likely see most of the regular lineup in action on the ice, as Cassidy says we should see one group. More ahead on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. Welcome back on Locked On Golden Knights from Las Vegas. And we appreciate you tuning in, especially our everydayers, wherever you might be. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to Locked On Golden Knights, our YouTube channel. And a somber day here in Las Vegas, as always. It is on October.
You realize the date.
Yeah, October the 1st. We remember all the lives, all 58 of them lost that night on October the 1st of 2017 in the senseless tragedy here in Las Vegas. And never forget, and we are Vegas strong. And there will be some festivities tonight, plans for the remembrances tonight there at T-Mobile Arena. Tough day, man. This is a tough one.
There's nothing to say. I mean, it's terrible, and it's one of those moments we can tell you exactly where we are, the clothes that we were wearing, and when our phones started, about something happening. I mean, I do remember I was running 2 poke rooms on the strip, and I was off on that night. And I remember getting phone calls where we're going and hiding in places, and the casino is just, it's nuts. I mean, I don't know what to say.
To remember everything there that happened on October the 1st of 17, the Golden Knights Foundation tonight donating $1 million to the Vegas Strong Fund, which oversees the construction of the 1 October Forever One Memorial. So, and, I was thinking about this morning, Chris, too. We had Nick Raboni on the show a couple of years ago. And there's the assistant coach there with UNLV hockey, and Raboni got shot there, and that story was just chilling. It was just you can't describe it. So let's get back to hockey here. If
Smooth
VGK,
transition.
That wasn't smooth. That was so choppy. And there's no way to summarize our feelings here in Vegas. If VGK had played Joe Fleming at his natural position earlier, as a forward instead of a defenseman earlier in his career, he'd be looking to sign about a $10 million contract a year. He'd get some of this money.
What, for 20 years?
For this surplus money.
Oh.
Fleming, well, Cassidy said he held the puck too long, but he goes, I guess he knew what he was doing, though. And he did the Joe drag, not the toe drag.
The Joe drag, okay.
What was that? I don't know, but I'm the president.
It was a roller hockey move.
I'm the president of the Joe Fleming fan club. Scored one of 2 goals. The other was Tanner Lazinski. And you took exception last night on the X about Fleming's celly.
What preseason goal? Who cares? Like, it was fine. It was cool, but
it got me going.
You score the goal, you high five your teammates, you go on the bench, and you play your next shift. Like, it's preseason. Chill out. So it was a good goal. It was a fun goal. Don't get me wrong, and it was nice.
And it gave them the lead at the time before the Destructo, in the third period.
So. Yeah, no, I mean, what and the best comment, people were having fun with me on that, and that's fine. I can care less. But the best comment I did see, I forgot who said it. They said, "Listen, this is the only hope that they're going to sell any tickets at Lee's Family Forum this year for the Silver Knights." And honestly, that's pretty accurate, because they have trouble selling tickets at Lee's Family Forum for the Silver Knights. So Fleming will hopefully become a household figure down in the farm, so to speak, off Green Valley Parkway. And hopefully he keeps that same energy and fun.
So I was at the Las Vegas Aces game last night, and I was watching the game, and I saw VGK. The first thing, as soon as I turned it on, because I was distracted by the game and hanging out with other media friends and whatever, and it's preseason and no one really cares.
Bingo.
So I turn on TV, Chris, and I see the power play unit. I see Cole Reinhardt. I see Greg Lazinski, the Phillies great. No, that was Tanner Lazinski. He might as well. He should have been out there. Colton Sissons was out there. I think Braden Bowman, Caden Korzak, they were all on the ice. And it was, what is going on here? And it was the most disjointed power play. Come on. How could Bruce Cassidy evaluate that? He's talking, the power play wasn't very good. Like, how could you make sense of that lineup on the ice last night?
There is nothing. There is zero takeaway. There is no film that Cassidy watched of this. There was never a discussion of this game, probably internal within the organization, 2 minutes after the press conference happened. This is one of those games that's going to be scrapped next year as far as when the regular season increases.
Just four games next year.
Yeah, and there'll be one game that's not a lot of players, one game that has some, the last two that has all the players. Like we're going to have Wednesday and Friday starting tonight, where you will see 3/4 of the forward lines, sans of course. Why am I don't know where you're going? Drawing a blank. The guy that's injured, winger, left forward, scored all the goals.
Dorofeev.
Thank you. Good God. Dorofeev, you won't see him out there likely. You'll see the other two defensive.
Well, you see
next 2 games will be good. Next 2 preseason games will be good.
Carl Lindbaum last night, not stellar in the performance. Saved 30. A lot of shots on goal, which shows you the defense was really shoddy. Saved 30 of 33 shots. And there was that one goal. You talk about the floporama.
Yeah.
Where he had to dive from the left to the right side. Skates were up, dove across the crease, couldn't catch up to the puck. And I said yesterday I would like to see him take the net for an entire game. And luckily he did, but I don't know, not a great showing. No. And when things really, okay, let's say Carter Hart, about 90% sure he's coming here.
Yeah.
How is this going to shake out for guys like Lindbaum? Does he beat out Akira? And how is Akira going to deal with being the number 3 goaltender in this system?
Akira is going to get through this year on his deal, and then he's an RFA in 26-27, and he's going to get cut and come back on a PTO. No, Schmid's going to deal with it. That's just what life is like if you're not a starting goaltender or an everyday NHLer. He's going to deal with it. He'll find motivation. But if there's anything that Schmid needs to know, it's a little bit of EGK history. And just because he's going to be the 3rd goalie on the depth chart, that doesn't mean he might not play 20-25 games. You just never
You need to be in the top 5. You have to be in the top 5.
I mean, if there's one evaluation point from this game, it was Carl Lindbaum's game. It wasn't good, and I'm sure he'd be the first to tell you, but hopefully better days are ahead.
We appreciate everyone tuning in, especially our everydayers around the globe. Thank you so much. Of course, tonight VGK will be in action, and we'll have a recap on tomorrow's show. For my man, Chris Golick, I am Tony Cardasco from Las Vegas. We appreciate you tuning in, and please subscribe to Locked On Golden Knights on YouTube. We'll see you tomorrow right here on Locked On Golden Knights.